I know that sometimes you try to be better about Christmas.
And yet still on Christmas Day, Steve leans out the window and goes, "You there, boy, what day is it? Go fetch me that fine fat goose."
It's a wonderful key life. It's also our annual Christmas episode. So let's wrap up the year and unwrap some stories on Steve Brown, etc.
He's an old white guy, an author, broadcaster, and seminary professor who's sick of religion. And he's brought friends. Please welcome Steve Brown, etc.
Hey, we are so glad you're here. It's going to feel like we've been drinking, but we're cold, stone sober. It's Christmas, and people go crazy at Christmas.
We have them fooled.
If you're wondering, I'm Steve, the aforementioned old white guy. By the way, it's just us. We were going to interview Santa Claus, but he was testing out the sleigh in the Northeast and the drone got him. Matthew Porter, our executive producer, is here. Once again, you guest hosted the show without getting taken off the air, so the truth is that it's uncomfortable for me to allow you to do that because I need this job.
Thank
and
you.
if you weren't so good at it, I would have you on more often.
Very kind.
And our producer, Jinx, is in the little glass booth. Call him old-fashioned, but Jinx longs for when the lights in the sky were just stars and not UFOs. And our other producer, Jeremy, is also in the little glass booth. Jeremy, I heard you had a very classy Christmas party last weekend.
Oh, so classy. Matthew Porter was even there.
Aside from the fact that you invited Matthew and Jinx.
Oh, that's true.
Surmounted that.
Yeah, it was so classy that didn't even diminish the class.
I did leave early just to be safe.
Smart.
And listen, if you're watching or listening to things that ESPN does at Christmas, the Christmas music you're hearing was produced and written by Jeremy. How about that, sports fans?
Literally sports fan.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We may or may not play it later.
Our one-man IT department, John Myers, is in the tech bunker, and we've talked about John's light display, but finally, here's some footage of it.
Look at that.
Is that something else or
nice.
what?
Wow.
And then Dr. George Bingham is the president of Key Life, making a list of Key Life contributors, checking it twice.
We'll see who gets coal.
And 3 times.
Coal for their major donor gift.
And Kathy is, of course, the soft, feminine side of the program. Thank you for the cake.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, look at that.
It's very Christmassy.
Well,
Very piney.
it's Christmas. Deal with it.
Well, it would be
Did you
better
snake the
if you
tree in
had
here again?
if you had trees
Yeah,
on
it's
top
over
of
there.
it.
Nice.
It would be nicer. Didn't you do one for somebody else that had trees on top?
I did, but the problem is when you put them on the top, you can't get the dome of the cake carrier on top without smashing all the trees. So just deal with the ones that are there
it's
and
hard.
quit complaining.
It's hard.
She was going to
deal
top it up later, but you got her so busy.
I still think a couple of stumps, here where
You know,
removed.
folks, this will be
Trees.
the last Christmas program that we ever do, that I ever do.
Oh, man.
Poisoned the cake.
Yeah.
Matthew,
Hey.
you got Christmas stories.
Oh, sure. I got some.
You got piles of Christmas
I've
stories.
got a
He better if he's
modest
the producer.
mound of good news and just something uplifting because the news is a bummer. Well, here's an easy one. Bible sales are up 22% year over year, according to BookScan. How about
No
that?
kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
It already was the bestseller. It must be going through the roof.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
if we could get people to read it,
Well.
that would be an amazing thing.
Yeah, they
Maybe
don't
that'll be
keep that
next year's
list.
goal.
Yeah.
This is just a sweet story. In Chesapeake, Virginia, there's a man who gave his wife a unique birthday gift. In honor of her 40th birthday, he covered the adoption fees for 40 shelter pets, which was like $4,000 plus. And I'm like, how much does it cost to
Oh, wow.
adopt a dumb dog? Right?
Did he bring all of the pets home to his wife?
No. He covered. People were adopting them
Oh,
anyway. And
okay.
he's like, let me cover that for you.
I was going to
As a
say
way
that
of-
that could have been the end of his marriage.
You know, we should
Hi,
start.
honey, I'm home with
we
40
should,
dogs.
We
Yes.
should start a pet adoption thing. That sounds like a,
Ah.
you know, a
Great
good,
ministry.
and a contribution opportunity
I
too.
started to say we can raise money on that.
That's right.
Have you seen those commercials with those dogs?
Oh
that
yeah,
are starving?
I have to turn them away, or I'm
Yeah, right.
poor dog.
I think they're paid actors.
You bring your puppy to work. I
Yeah,
Paid
that's right.
actors.
Paid actors.
To get
So-
them to shiver like
Here's
that.
another one. A young guy named Bryce Crawford encountered an atheist, and this atheist was scheduled to have surgery on his torn ACL the next day. He said, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you to not only be healed, but be stronger than ever. But if God heals you, you have to give your life to Christ. So he prayed for him, wasn't healed. Until the next morning, when the atheist goes downstairs to eat breakfast before his surgery and realizes, I shouldn't have been able to do that. So he goes to the doctor. They check him out. They do a little MRI prior to the surgery. ACL had reattached itself.
Oh, wow.
So he reaches out to this guy going, okay,
You got me.
Listen,
you got me.
And then he would say, you know,
Wow.
I'm not going to do that,
Let's
but
get
I'm
that
going
guy
to
on
give
here."
a significant contribution to the church.
Yeah. The guy said he felt kind of dumb after he wasn't healed immediately. He goes, but if I'm going to be a fool, I'll be a fool for Jesus. So it's a really cool story.
That's it. Where do you get these? This is cool.
The interwebs.
All
I
right,
just
go
did
ahead.
a little looking. So here's a sweet story. Not specifically Jesus related. So in 1967, at age 22, a guy named Earl Gaines sold his beloved Chevy Camaro. So you picture that, like beautiful, because he had 2 young kids and he needed money for diapers and sold that ride to pay for things. So cut to 54 years later, when Earl's youngest son spent 3 years finding and restoring that exact Chevy Camaro
Wow.
and gave it to his dad on his 65th birthday.
That
about
is
that?
so cool.
How cool
Now
is that?
Yeah.
that's
really
a
is.
good kid.
It was like 70 miles away, but it was the exact same one, and you know it needed some love to bring it back. But a 3-year process
Wow.
and culminating on his 65th birthday. So it's this really great
Oh my goodness.
emotional story.
And no car wreck the next day. Hopefully.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah, take care of that thing. And this last one's just more of a personal note. Taco Bell this year brought back the beef Meximelt for a short time. So
Wow.
you know you
So it's
find
not all bad.
you find
news.
joy where you can. So.
Yeah. yeah.
Is that a good thing, Matthew?
Yes,
I was asking the
the
same
beef
question.
Meximelt. All right, man, you guys have not missed out on this thing. That's fine. It was a great menu
I
item.
like their little pizza thing. That went away.
Yeah, I
I
know.
have only
I-
been to Taco Bell one time and got sick and never gone back.
You
I,
haven't missed
I
out.
don't
know,
wanna, I
we-
realize
we
that
may
that's
have some-
irrational. I realize that
Definitely
I
not biblical.
should be going occasionally. When I see Matthew drool, it even makes me feel more guilty about not going. But getting sick once will do it. for
That'll
me.
do it.
Well,
yeah, right.
That'll do it.
And let's not forget the potential liability on the air for, besmirching,
We
No,
love
it was
service.
just one time.
Yeah, and it probably from
simple
something else.
Statement of fact.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
something
probably
else.
got it. We
Yeah.
went to McDonald's and got a hamburger right after that.
Yeah, so it could be that.
So we'll have
Or-
both of them
Yeah,
sue us.
Wendy's, and
Yeah,
Burger King.
exactly.
And then we got a milkshake at Wendy's. Hey,
It was too
listen,
cold.
it could have come from
Yeah,
anywhere.
that's right.
But except Chick-fil-A. No,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
not
nothing
possible.
bad
That's
from
clean.
Chick-fil-A.
If you'd done
Peach-
that, you would have been healed.
That's the Lord's
Yeah.
chicken.
That is the Lord's
Peach
chicken.
peach milkshake at Chick-fil-A. There's nothing bad in that.
Oh man.
Except the diabetes.
No, I agree.
Well, there's that.
And they only do peach milkshakes
Uh-huh.
in season.
Yes.
Yes, they're seasonal.
But
I
they
don't know
do the
why.
pepper.
I can find
Yeah.
peaches at the supermarket. I don't know
Well, they're
why
not
they
very
can't.
good. They're not very good though
What-
when they're
what
not in
just
season.
right.
Oh, now the grocery stores are going to be after us.
Yeah.
What time of year was the ACL?
No press is bad press. Don't worry
ACL
about it.
surgery. Maybe he rubbed a Chick-fil-A peach
Maybe that's it.
milkshake on
Maybe
it.
that
and
was that was
healed it, anointed it with a peach milkshake.
No, there are times. There
I
are.
wish I'd never brought it up. I shouldn't have said a thing about it. It has nothing to do with Christmas. Has nothing to do with Santa Claus.
Ring the bell.
Has nothing to do with
Taco
Jesus. Yeah.
It's just your basically bad attitude about Christmas. It just
know.
just comes into every
I
conversation.
heard the Taco Bells on Christmas Day. Bong.
You know, I have a
Feliz
special
Navidad.
Santa Claus hat that has been created for me.
Yeah.
If somebody will take a picture of it,
We'll think about it.
it's Santa Claus with Bah Humbug on the hat.
Put it on.
It's the one the actual Grinch used.
Now, I used to wear this regularly, but I have improved. I refuse to wear it anymore.
Yeah.
And I've cut back at least 20% on saying Bah Humbug. So I'm getting better. So I expect a little bit of credit for getting a little bit better.
You know, there was a lady in the church in Miami who would take rocks and put felt on the bottom of them and paint them. You know, and I still have it. You know, to put your messages underneath. And one year I found one that said "Bah Humbug" on it, and so I used it for years during the month of December. But I don't use that anymore because I know that sometimes you try to be better about Christmas.
And yet still on Christmas Day, Steve leans out the window and goes, "You there, boy? What day is it? Fetch me that fine fat goose."
I do. It's a joke, but I do. Once I'm at Christmas and Christmas Eve, the whole world changes. Then it's about Jesus. And I get quiet and really spiritual.
Look at that. That's wonderful.
Let's let Steve go now.
Hey, we're glad you joined us for our Christmas episode. By the way, if you're looking for a unique kind of Christmas present, have you heard about the Key Life book box? I'm hearing about it the first time.
Tell us more.
It's a special book subscription service from Key Life. And for one low price, you get a book each month in the mail for 12 months. And we have 2 different versions. And you can get the details at keylife.org/bookbox.
You know, I have to tell you that my mother, I used to say to my mother when she would tell me something, I would say, "Why did I not know that?" And she would say, "Because you don't listen." So the fact that you didn't know about the book box, I'm being my mother. Well, I didn't know about that. Well, that's because you don't listen.
It's a month for surprises.
Well, that could be, but I can't imagine not hearing something like that.
It's a big deal.
But listen, it's
a great
yeah,
deal.
it is. It's a great
In
deal.
all fairness, we only launched it 2 years ago. So.
Yeah.
So I got it wild yet.
So you can still get in on the ground floor.
Do you include samples of the pipe tobacco with each one?
Yeah, it's just a little sprinkling.
You guys got your Christmas shopping done?
Yes.
Do you have a plan the way you do it, or
I do.
you just do it?
I do.
Would
And I
you
usu-
share it with us?
Yeah, I usually know way far ahead because I really do love Christmas, and it takes me a lot of time to get my house all decorated the way I want it. So the gifting thing usually starts long before that. So I know way far ahead what I'm going to do, and usually have stuff on the shelf in the closet, you know, a long time ahead. And then, of course, I do a lot of, you know, baking and stuff, and so I do that ahead and put it in the freezer. So I the other day set out 25 loaves of different breads that I had made and the sugared peanuts and all that kind of stuff and everything. And then I started carrying it out and delivering it to different places. And now my freezer is barren and empty.
I bet.
And a lot of stuff is
along with
and
the
a-
cupboard.
and a lot, yeah, along with the cupboard and along with my bank account.
You do baking, don't you, George?
Oh yeah. nothing
And
that
send it
anyone
to
will.
your enemies.
Yeah, nothing that anyone would want to eat.
That's not true.
Gift buying. Yeah, the strategy has become. Maybe we could get a product placement for this. Is Amazon. Yeah. And nothing like, we actually on occasion will go to the stores or the mall or whatever just to kind of get that Christmas spirit and see the decorations and so forth.
And the pretzel.
Yeah, and the pretzel and the, those kind of things. And the nice thing about it is we're not looking for anything.
That's
Just wandering
excellent.
around the mall, and it's great.
I
You
bet that
see all
takes the
these
stress
Well,
out of it.
enjoy it because they're
panicky
going to be
people.
closing soon.
Well, yeah,
and going out
probably.
of business because you go to Amazon.
Well,
instead of
and we'll
supporting-
try and mix it up and go to Walmart some,
There you go.
online.
Keep them going.
And Amazon paid us. No, unfortunately they didn't.
Yeah, right. At least we're not going to be sued by Amazon.
There you go.
Matthew, what about you?
My gift buying strategy. Well, there's two phases. Phase one, put off. And
Right?
phase
Why not?
two
Put
is
off
panic.
further.
Is what?
Panic.
Okay.
And we're just about to make that pivot right now. No, actually, I actually am very good about early on. I'll find a little small thing for Stephanie. And again, I only have to buy for one human being. She takes care of everything else, literally everything else. I've got one job, and I just barely pull out a victory, it seems like, every year. But I'll find something small. I'm like, oh, that'll be great. And like maybe even in November. And I got it, and it gets here, and I'm like, good, man, you're just ahead of the game. And then it just false sense of security. You're like, hey, dum-dum, yes, you were doing great, but you gotta get it back in gear. You gotta second wave. I mean, that's maybe a stocking stuffer you got her.
Right.
That's not the closer. That ain't the closer, man. And Amazon can only help you to a certain point, and after that, you're
Yeah.
like, we could deliver this on the 28th. You're like, oh no.
Can I come get it?
Yes. Save me, Jeff Bezos.
I have the same policy. What about you, Jinx? Do you?
I'm doing mine right now.
That's why you were late, right?
Give me a minute.
Is that buying presents?
No, I was late because of early dismissal. The worst part about Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
7
Oh.
stops behind one school bus that I could
Yeah.
not get around.
Do you have kids to pick up?
Oh, shoot.
Was that today?
They're resourceful. They'll find their way home.
Anna is my reason. She does the Christmas shopping, but she loves me more than Stephanie loves you
Oh,
because
okay.
she doesn't care what I think, but she acts like she does.
Uh-huh.
And so throughout the Christmas season, what do you think about? And I always say, I love it.
Yes.
Because I've learned that that's the best way to deal with Christmas shopping. I love it
Mm-hmm.
to the person who's buying.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conversation comes to an end and it's done.
Yeah, there you go.
But then I still have to find something for her. And when you're old, you got everything that you want or care about. So it's really hard
Well,
to buy.
surely something has, over the years, something has broken that needs to be replaced. Or
Everything.
Yeah, well,
Mainly me.
and I can't
and
replace
Jesus
you.
is
so-
going to do the replacement there.
I could go for a new pair of knees. Ooh, great.
Yeah.
How's your ammo supply holding up?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Do you ever get tired of? Do you play Christmas songs during the year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She leaves her
And
Christmas
Jinx-
village set up all
And
year.
and Jinx did this
And it's awesome.
wonderful, wonderful thing for me because I used to. I mean, it's too long to go into, and
We
nobody
got to
else.
put a picture
Nobody
of it up.
else
Somebody
cares.
put one up there in the corner.
Nobody else cares, but my Christmas village used to take me, several weeks to set it all up, and I finally got to a point where I just said, I just can't keep doing this. I need too much help to do it. So when I moved this year, I bought these really nice curio cabinets, and it's in these cabinets in my living room permanently, except for a small section that I put in the dining room. And Jinx did all this wiring, and so when he was telling me to take them all out of the boxes and everything, he said, okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut all the plugs off. And I said, excuse me? How exactly do we get these buildings to light up if the plugs are all cut off? And so I had these ladies come over, and the first thing, he even provided me with the clippers. cut all the plugs off, and they all said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I have no idea, but Jinx told me to do this, so I'm going to trust that he knows what he's doing," and he did. And they all light up, but don't ask me how he did it.
You know,
Put the
that,
plugs back on after
that-
we ran them through the holes.
that probably requires filing a permit with the county or something.
Yeah.
It's completely UL listed,
That's it.
allegedly.
I want
Yeah.
Jinx, I don't care what they say about you. You're a good person.
And
That's my
then,
favorite.
yeah, and
you're
then
doing nice things.
And then he also downloaded every CD that I have on a flash drive and plugged it into my TV so I can play Christmas music year round.
Wow.
Most of her CDs are Christmas
Oh,
CDs.
that sounds so good. I could hum Silent Night
It's good that you didn't
in
get
July.
didn't get confused and cut the plug off the thumb drive.
I know.
We'll put that in later. That was step 3.
Guys, we have no idea where this is going, but we're going to work Jesus in somewhere. Because this is not about Santa Claus. It's not about Scrooge. It's about Jesus. And we're gonna bring up that at some point.
Love that.
I do too. I wish we, you can see the cake. I wish there was a way that we could share that with you.
Taste-O-Vision.
It's so good.
Was it Smell-O-Vision or Taste-O-Vision?
Go to YouTube channel and go to the community page. We'll have some pictures.
Okay,
Next best thing.
that
Tasting.
works. We ought to put a recipe up somewhere too.
Well,
That
or
wouldn't hurt.
We could sell
again
the
for
recipe.
the right contribution, we'd send you one.
Ah, there
That's
you go.
right, but a very big
You
contribution.
can show the backside of the tree, and everybody will know it's just an ice cream cone.
at that.
That'll be the piece we'll put in the corner.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, listen, we've, since this is the end of the year and we're looking back, Matthew compiled, and I've got a list, and it blows me away of who's been on this program this past year. It really is a stellar list. What's your favorite, Matthew?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'll just say one because I don't want to grab everybody else's. Nope, I know. All right, I'm not going to say that one. Kathy's going to say that one. So I'm going to say Quentin Schultz.
oh,
Was that
that's
yours?
no.
Kathy's. I know who Kathy's going to say. Quentin Schultz. He worked with Gene Shepard.
Yeah.
They were friends, and the guy who wrote the script for A Christmas Story, and he did their narration of it. He's just all about storytelling, and he gave us all the inside stories about how Gene Shepard worked and what he was like. It was really, really fascinating. That
I
was
bet it was.
so
And
cool.
Great, and that's a great program. Can we get that in the archives if somebody wants to go back and
Oh
listen
yeah,
to it?
it's there.
That was good. I grew up. I listened to Gene Shepard when I was a kid, out of a New York station when I could pick it up. I was in the mountains of North Carolina, and they would, and you could. It was a 50,000 water, and on certain evenings I could listen to Gene Shepard telling stories. I was absolutely fascinated by it, and I loved Christmas Story. All Scrooges that I know liked Christmas Story a whole lot. Kathy, what was your favorite since you were the one that put all these together?
I actually had two. It will be interesting to see if Matthew chose one, but I love Robert Wolgemuth. I love his heart. I just every time we've ever had him, and I loved the program with him. But
Yeah.
I do have to say that my favorite was our friend Alex Early and his book among his cookbook Among the Pots and Pans, because there is so much great spiritual stuff in it, as well as some great recipes. For when we interviewed him, I actually fixed one of his recipes, and it it's really good. I haven't hit a dog recipe in the whole thing, but
Great
and
gift.
I love him. He's just he's a great
Good
guy.
So he
really
has
is.
a recipe for hitting a dog.
Everybody
I've
back
heard of
away
road-
from the jokes right now.
Roadkill.
I was
And we
thinking that
combine,
too.
We could combine that one with advertising for pet rescue.
Yes, I need this job.
What about you, George?
We actually did a couple of programs with him, Jordan Rayner.
Yeah, he's great.
And he does features on like the sacredness of secular work. Basically, your work is your worship. And then he did another one where it sort of carried that concept into, in the coming kingdom, we'll be continuing to do our work that we enjoy and celebrating that. So that was cool.
He's got a new book coming out next year, so we'll have him again. He definitely is one of
It'll
our
be on
favorites.
work, I assume.
Yeah,
Because
something
that's
related,
kind of
yeah.
his bailiwick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
How about you?
Yeah.
Any favorites?
Yeah. I'm looking down this. I really like our guest. I kid Kathy about it, but boy, she finds them. And the theme that runs throughout all of these, and I can't see it, there may be one or two exceptions, but in every place, no matter who it is, they get grace and mercy. And they tell stories of grace and mercy. So it's hard for me. I loved having my friend Brant Hansen on. He's written not this book. This book is Life is Hard, God is Good, Let's Dance. But that's about grace. And he's written the best book I've ever read on self-righteousness. And then I loved having Buddy Green because there's so many memories in that. He traveled with us for years during the Born Free seminar. And Buddy and I have been friends forever. We still talk very often. And it was kind of nice to have him on the program. You have to be careful. We're going to play some of Jeremy's music in the next segment. But we have to be careful because there are people, lawyers, who make their money suing people for playing the wrong music that has a copyright attached to it. I one time was doing a book with Michael Kelly Blanchard as a part of it, some of his lyrics. And I found out that song was owned by no less than 8 different people.
Wow.
Having different parts to it. And I said, nobody listens to it anymore. I'm going to help you. And they said, no, you're not, without a significant cost involved. So we had Buddy and Jeremy. You're going to hear some of his music. And it's his music, so nobody can sue us. And then at some point in this broadcast, we're going to look at what this is all about. We're going to listen to the Christmas story. When God came down in love. Hey, we're so glad you're with us. While you're here, have you subscribed to our free weekly Key Life email? It's called Key Life Connection. And just like Santa filling a stocking, it drops the best of Key Life right into your inbox. You can try it today. Just go to keylife.org/subscribe. We got a gift for you. One of our staff guys, in fact, one of the producers on this program, is an incredible musician.
Yes.
I mean, he plays like 80 different instruments. And that's not a big deal, but he does it at the same time. And it's an amazing thing to watch. He does stuff with his toes that would absolutely blow you away. Actually, Jeremy is one of the is a truly great musician. And so I've asked him if he would play for us on this Christmas edition. He has an album that ESPN, that ESPN, has released at Christmas, and they're playing that music all over the country. So, Jeremy, would you play something for us?
Well, thank you, Steve. I don't know about what I can really do with my toes, but that'll be a project for 2025. New year, new me. This is a little song called Santa's Red Boots by Jeremy and Aaron Birdsall, my brother. He came to me and said, I got this idea. I think it might be a little too rock and roll for this country Christmas album, but I said, let's try it. So I'm going to need your help, Steve, and everybody over there. I want you to clap with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah? We got that going? Okay. All right, here it goes.
Oh, fireplace.
Oh, it's
There you go.
impressive, I tell you. I'm going to be humming that for the rest of the Christmas.
Let's hope so. See, it really sounds more Christmassy when you add the jingle bells to it.
Yeah, we could have brought in bells and
We
done
bring in
that.
your car keys and just
That's
jingle
true.
them
That's
that
true.
way.
Be listening, though. Watch ESPN and
Christmas
listen to
Day,
their music. Christmas Day. it's
NBA
gonna
on
blow
Christmas
you away.
Day. I think it'll be.
Kids, shut
Okay.
up. Put away the presents. We're putting on ESPN.
That's right.
What's your favorite music, Kathy?
Mary, did you know?
I do too.
Yeah.
That was written, at least the music for it, by Buddy Green.
And the lyrics by Mark Lowry.
Yeah,
And that's a
amazing.
great story because Mark had that song for years and years, and he gave it to several different people. I mean, very well-known, musicians in the country music field, and it just wasn't right. And he gave it to Buddy, and Buddy read through it and said, "Mark, this needs to be written in minor key," and just started writing. And I mean, it was almost like first time through kind of thing.
And it's still everybody sings it at Christmas. I love that song. What about you, George?
Well, I think I'm finding sort of going back to the hymns and not just one, but sort of the classic Christmas hymns and so forth, and I've been enjoying that a lot in church this year.
You know, we have a fairly contemporary church, and you have a fairly traditional church. But at our church last Sunday, they played Christmas music, hymns from the past. And I was listening and singing the lyrics, and they are profound. They're something else.
And you look and see somebody like a Charles Wesley or something like that contributed so many hymns and so forth.
True. Thousands, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's a shame he wasn't a Calvinist.
Probably secretly he was.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't affect
couldn't tell
evidently.
John.
Evidently, it doesn't affect your hymn writing.
No, it really doesn't. Matthew?
If we're going on the hymn direction, I heard the bells on Christmas Day. I just the lyrics of that are just so timely. I mean, even more just the darkness that the lyric writer sees, and it just doubles back though. It's just a really powerful song. And as far as more modern than hymns, the Christmas song, Nat King Cole. That's just such a great vibe.
Really is.
There's so many songs, but all right, crooners, those kind of Christmas standards. That's all I want to hear. Is it after 1970? Nope. Another time, another year.
But not this
Give
year.
me Sinatra. Give me Dino.
Somebody's getting old.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I am too. Don't get me wrong.
That's it. That's all I want.
Jinx, what's your favorite Christmas?
Him, We Three Kings.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Modern contemporary, TSO.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Do you all
come
like
on.
Little Drummer Boy?
Oh,
Rumpa
we're
Pumpa?
drummers and we hate it.
I only like.
But you gotta love when
modern
King.
version.
You gotta love when King and
For King and
Country does
Country.
it. Oh
Okay, that one's
my
pretty good.
That was a great
goodness,
take.
that
That was
is
pretty good.
fabulous.
I just want to know.
But he doesn't go pa rum pa pum pum. That's not even a lick. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah. What mom allowed it? You know what this kid needs? This kid I just got to sleep. Little drummer guy, why don't you come in here and play Wipeout for him? That will be perfect.
Well, you know the secret to Santa and drum sets, right?
What's that?
It's when the parents are naughty that the drum set shows up.
There was
That's
a
the short-
cartoon. There was a cartoon on Facebook today where Santa was saying to a little kid, "You get the drums this year because your parents have been naughty."
See? I knew I'd
That's
seen
the
that somewhere
short
before.
path to sainthood. Parents who willingly buy drum set. You're like, you know what? Bless your heart. There you go.
You know that we kid about my being Scrooge and all that, but that's where I get the spirit is listening, usually in a worship service, to Christmas music and having that sweep over me that it's not about presents, it's about Him, and that this isn't a nice story. It really happened, that God Himself has entered time and space, and He did it because He loves it. That blows me away, and that can get to me. I can even get teary if I let it go, but real men don't cry, so I think of somebody who ticks me off, and it gets me through it. But I really get the Spirit listening to the powerful lyrics that reflect the biblical model of what we're all about as Christians. And speaking what we're all about, in the next segment, you might want to get your Bible out to the Gospel according to Luke. I know you've heard it, but you might want to follow it along. I might say that every time I do this, I sense His presence too. So if you want to get the Spirit, go to the Scriptures. The Spirit inspired it, and it's about Jesus who made it and the God who created it all. So don't go anywhere, and we'll check out the Christmas story on the other side of the break. I'm reading from Luke, the second chapter. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be enrolled, each to his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the city of Nazareth, to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and the lineage of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to be delivered. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. And in that region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with fear. And the angel said to them, "Be not afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will come to all the people. For to you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign for you. you will find the babe wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger. And then suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men with whom he is well pleased. When the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, Let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us. That's not a story. It's a fact. And it happened. Jesus has come into time and space. He has walked our dirty roads. He has been tired, not to keep us from being tired, but to be tired as we are. He was lonely, not to keep us from being lonely, but to be lonely as we are lonely. And he died, not to keep us from dying, but to die as we have to die. And so Jesus has come, and that's what Christmas is all about. And he has identified with us. Rejoice and be glad. And from all of us at Key Life to all of you, have a very Merry Christmas.